आद्यन्तहीनो निरपेक्षदीप्तिः स्वतः स्वरूपेण विपिल्लुतो यः श्रीसौम्यकाशीशमहेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय मन्तुं न शक्यो मनसा कदाचित् वक्तुं न केनापि तथा न वाचा बुद्धुं च बुद्ध्यापि तथा न शक्यः बुद्ध्यादिसाक्षी खलु केवलो यः सर्वेन्द्रियातीतपदस्थितोऽपि सर्वेन्द्रियप्रेरयितो परो यः श्रीसौम्यकाशीशमहेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय शुद्धादिशुद्धं च सदा प्रबुद्धः विश्वेश्वरो विश्वपरप्रसन्नः व्यापी परब्रह्मणि मोदमानः वेदान्तसारस्वतीयां शरण्यः योऽपि सर्वभूतादिवासः सर्वजीवात्मकोऽयः श्रीसौम्यकाशीशमहेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय अशब्दमस्पर्शमरूपवच्च तथा रसं नित्यमगन्धवच्च निरञ्जनं नित्यनिरीहमेकं बुद्धेः परं निर्गुणसद्ध्रुवं च गुह्यं गभीरं गगनोपमं यं पश्यन्ति निर्धूतमलायतीन्द्राः श्रीसौम्यकाशीशमहेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय तेजोमयं दिव्यममेयशक्तिं सनातनं शान्तमनामयं च अद्वैतमाश्चर्यमचिन्त्यरूपं परात्परं नित्यमनन्तमाद्यं ज्ञानप्रकाशेन विशुद्धसत्त्वः यं पश्यति स्वात्मनि चिन्त्यमानम् श्रीसौम्यकाशीशमहेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय Tapovan Shatkam is one of the loveliest texts. It is comparable to great masters like Sri Shankara, etc., in its style, in its content, in its effectiveness. Vedanta merely intellectually understanding doesn't make us realized souls. Chanting these verses without understanding, there is some benefit, because at least you are invoking God. Therefore, there is some benefit because your Shraddha is tapped. But it cannot give you full benefit without understanding what you are invoking. When you understand what you invoke, pour out in devotion, your whole mind takes that form, what you are invoking. Your whole mind takes that form, what you are invoking. And it is easy in the medium of devotion, because the basic nature of love is identification, tanmayatvam. You become that, identification. Two things in love, devotion. You become that through tanmayatvam. You drop your ego. You surrender your ego. Both are two aspects of sadhana called Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa and Vairagya. Therefore, most effective medium to describe the Advaita philosophy is bhakti. And this has been done very, very effectively by our authors, Ananda Prakasha, Vidya Prakasha. The first sloka tells us how the world is a mixture of Brahman and name and form. Satyanrutam Mithuni Krutya. The world that we see is a combination of the eternal and the ephemeral. Eternal you cannot see, ephemeral you can see. Therefore, drop all that you perceive through all the senses and the mind. What remains is the eternal. That is what the contents of the first mantra. Then, what is the nature of that eternal is the second mantra, Akanda Bhavaha. Then of a technique of knowing this eternal as the very subject is given in the third. That is, it cannot be thought of because it is a subject. So how does it benefit? That which by which you can think is that subject. By which you can hear is that subject. Senses, mind cannot perceive them, but the very suggestion has a clue. They cannot perceive because that is the subject. So turn your attention to the subject. Turn your attention to the subject. That is the clue in the third sloka. Now we have to take the fourth. The fourth again is almost a summary of the first three. Shuddhati Suddham cha sada prabuddha. Shuddhati Shuddham. Shuddham is pure. Normal purity that we know is, firstly, what is purity? Gurudev has given a lovely description. What is purity? Mother Earth, we worship. Mother Earth, we worship. But if the same earth falls on your shirt, you call it dirt. You call it dirt. Why? Anything foreign other than this vastu, substance, is polluting or corrupting. So anything other than us which covers us is dirt. So what is dirt in us? Visible mind, visible intellect, the invisible vasanas. They are all our dirt. So because these things cover the real me, since these things cover the real me, I am not able to experience the real me. So, Shuddhati Suddham, normal Suddham is no dirt, external cleanliness. This is cleaner than that because external cleanliness, everything is relative. Everything is relative because you have to go on cleaning it. You have to go on cleaning it. But the self, the Atman, because it is this very subject, the subtlest, nothing can pollute it. Grass cannot pollute the subtle. Grass cannot pollute the subtle. These are all grass compared to the self. They cannot pollute the self. They cannot stick to it. Many things, gross things, are burnt on fire, swept off by wind, stay in the space. But gross things cannot corrupt the fire, cannot corrupt the wind, cannot corrupt the akasha space. If that is so, the subtlest of all of them is the self. Therefore, nothing can ever corrupt it or touch it. So, Suddhati Suddham cha, that is one arrow mark. As Gurudev says, all these descriptions are arrow marks. When there is an arrow mark pointing to the road, it's called a pointer. Follow that arrow mark, you can reach. But if you stay there, you cannot reach. Any pointer is to guide you. Similarly, all these pointers, follow them and see them in your own self. There are two types of pointers. One is with reference to other things. That's called Tatastha Lakshana, indicative meaning. To show a house, that house where the crow is on the top. Crow will go away, but once you have seen, you know the house. Similarly, Brahman is also explained with reference to other things as Yatova Yamani Bhutani Jayanti Yena Jatana Jivanti, from which everything arises, in which everything stays, yet Prayatya Abhivishanti, and that which takes back all forms and everything merges in it. Everything springs forth from it, everything stays in it, everything goes back unto it. So, this is explaining Brahman with terms that we know. To explain something that you know through what you know is called indicative definitions or tatastha lakshana. Sarupa lakshana, Satchidanandam, Sat existence, Chit consciousness, Anandam happiness, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. These are all Anantam. These are all Swarupa Lakshanas. So, both these techniques are adopted in Shastras, especially in Taittiriya Upanishad. Here, we have some such description. Suddhati Suddham cha sada prabuddhaha. He is ever awake. He is ever awake. When are we awake? When we can recognize things. When we are asleep, when we cannot recognize anything. Consciousness can recognize when things are there. Consciousness can also recognize when things are not there. There is nothing. In sleep also, you say, I didn't know anything. Even ignorance is illumined by consciousness. Even ignorance is illumined by consciousness. Sun. Sun can illumine everything, but cannot illumine darkness. But self can say, when you enter a room, oh, this is dark. With a torchlight you go, you can't see darkness. With the sun cannot illumine darkness. But self can illumine light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance, because it sees everything, nothing sees it. It's ever alert, ever vigilant. Its nature is to illumine. Sada prabuddha Vishveshwaraha, Vishwaparaha, Prasannaha. Vishveshwaraha is the Lord of this universe. Tasya bhayat Suryaha Agnihi Tapati. Tasya bhayat Varshati. Out of fear of him, the sun shines, the fire shines, the rain gives us, clouds give us rain, Vayu Pavati, wind blows, they all follow certain laws. Sun follows certain laws, air follows certain laws, fire follows certain laws. Wherever there are laws, there should be a lawmaker. Wherever there are laws, there should be a lawmaker. So, if all these things, are following certain laws, there should be a lawmaker, that is the self, that is Brahma. So, Vishveshwaraha is the Lord of the universe, but beyond the universe. Vishvaparaha is beyond the universe. Why? Because in him there are no divisions. Universe has divisions. Universe has limits. Universe has qualities. Universe is finite. He is infinite. He has no qualities. He has no limits. And therefore, Vishveshwaraha, Vishwaparaha, oh, so he must be frightening, such a big man. No, Prasannaha, very pleasant. Prasannaha, very pleasant, of the nature of bliss. Vyapi Parabrahmani Modamanaha, Vyapi, he pervades everything. And he revels in Brahman, means he revels in his own self. He doesn't need external world for him to be happy. He enjoys his own bliss. He doesn't need, we need external things for us to get joy. But he is bliss absolute. He doesn't need anything else other than himself. Therefore, Parabrahmane Modamanaha is the very subject matter of all the books of knowledge, both material and spiritual. Vedanta Saraha. He is the essence of all, the end of all knowledge. Sudhiyam Sharanya. He cannot be known by anything in the world. The senses cannot know. The mind cannot know. The intellect cannot know. But in a pure intellect, pure means minimum vasanas, negligible vasanas, just to be in the body. In such a pure intellect, his reflection is clear. Though the body cannot know it, the mind cannot know it, even intellect cannot know it. But where the intellect is free from all negative thoughts, impurities, likes and dislikes, hatred, when it is pure, in that the reflection of this Brahman is very clear. Now, sun reflects everything. If the water is covered by complete mass, you cannot see. That is tamas. If the water is agitated, it is broken, reflection is broken, that is rajas. If the water is free from covering, free from agitations, reflection is clear. That is sattva. Physical level, tamas. Emotional level, rajas. Intellectual level, sattva. So, in such a pure intellect, you can experience that. Yeko Vashi Sarvabhutadivasaha. He is the one who lives in all beings. Kathopanishad. This is reference to, we said these are references to many Upanishads. This verse actually comes in Kathopanishad. Yeko Vashi Sarvabhutantaratma. Eko Vashi Sarvabhutadivasaha. Sarvadipaha. He is the Lord of everything. Sarva Jivatmako Vayaha. He is the essence of all jivas, all manifestations. Sri Saumyakashisha Maheshwaraya Tasmai Namaswami Tapovanaya. To such glorious Tapovan who is none other than Saumyakashishwara. To him we bow down. So that was more or less Swarupa Lakshana with a clue that it is known by men of pure intellect, it reflects in pure intellect. Is more or less direct description, though there are hints of Tatastha Lakshana also. But in the next, it mostly Tatastha Lakshana. अशब्दमस्पर्शमरूपवच्च तथा रसं नित्यमगन्धवच्च निरञ्जनं नित्यनिरीहमेकं बुद्धे परं सद् बुद्धे परं निर्गुणसद्ध्रुवं च गुह्यं गभीरं गगनोपमं यं पश्यन्ति निर्धूतमलायतीन्द्राः श्रीसौम्यकाशीशमहेश्वराय तस्मै नमः स्वामी तपोवनाय. Ashabdam. It's beyond sound. All sounds emanate from it. If sounds are not punctuated by silence, you cannot make any sense of that sound because it doesn't form syllables and words. Between two syllables, there should be silence. Between two words, there should be silence. That presupposes silence is the very substratum over which sounds are heard. Before sound, there was silence. Sound stays in silence. When sound ends, it is silence. Therefore, sound is a disturbance in silence. Sound is a disturbance in silence. The world is a disturbance in the infinite. The world is a disturbance in the infinite. Same thing, Ashabdam, beyond sound, Arupam, formless, Arupam, formless. Arasam, tasteless. Please, very important. If you just literally take them, Brahman seems to be a stone. Brahman seems to be a stone. No. When it says Ashabdam, it means all sounds emanate from it. It's beyond sound. When it says Arupam, all forms emanate from it. All forms emanate from it. Arasam, all tastes emanate from it. Right? Shabdam, Rupam, Rasam. They give you some joy. But do they have the joy? Where from the joy comes? Coffee. When you take a coffee, you are happy. Coffee lovers. There are somebody who don't like coffee. Now, is there joy in coffee? If there is joy in coffee, it should give joy to all. No. Your mind is agitated for coffee. When you take coffee, the agitation subsides. And that agitation meets the self. The joy comes from the self. The joy is not in the coffee, the joy is in the self. Coffee creates a condition. Coffee creates a condition where the agitation can meet the self. Doesn't mean coffee has no quality at all. It, it has certain qualities. Anything in the world has certain qualities. But it gives joy or sorrow is purely subjective. If your mind rests in the substratum, it is joy. If the mind is focused out, it is sorrow. The mind that rests in the self, the substratum, experiences joy. The mind that is focused out experiences sorrow. Therefore, Ashabdam, Arupam, Arasam, all these things, Shabda, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, etc., all of them have their qualities, but joy and sorrow is purely whether you are with the self or you are away from the self. But when you want these Shabda Rupa Rasa Gandhadi experiences, you create agitations. When you get them temporarily, those agitations subside and you feel the presence of the blissful self and you think that the joy is got from this Shabda Rupa Rasa Gandha Ityadi. Niranjanam. Anjana, dirt. Niranjanam, no dirt. Explained to you earlier, dirt is anything foreign. In us, the basic foreign element is vasanas. Niranjanam, free from vasanas, free from otherness, free from dirt. Nitya niriham ekam, eternally. Eternally free from actions. Nitya niriham ekam. Why do you and I act? We act because we need something. He is full and complete, and therefore he doesn't have to act. Avidya, kama, karma. Ignorance of the self makes you feel inadequacy. To feel that inadequacy, you have desires. And to gain what you desire, you get into actions. So, avidya manifests as desire, manifests as action, since he is Sada Prabuddha, is absolute knowledge, whose nature is bliss, whose nature is bliss. He doesn't need anything, and therefore he has not to act at all. Nitya Niriham Ekam. It's non-dual absolute truth. Ekam it says, but that Ekam you have to understand. Ekam, one, and you say it's always with reference to two, three, and etc. But Brahman Ekam is Advaitam. There is nothing other than it, non-dual. Non-dual. Therefore, it's called Advaita. It is not said here exceptionally some places Ekam it says. But when they say Ekam, immediately they also say Ekam Advitiyam. It's beyond duality. Buddhe Param Nirguna Sadhruvancha. Beyond the intellect. When you say beyond in spirituality, means subtler, means the very basis of the grosser, the very support of the grosser. Consciousness is subtler than space, means supports the space. Space supports air, therefore space is subtler than air. Air brings out fire, therefore air is subtler than fire. Like that, when you say in spirituality, inner, subtler, that means that is the very material cause, that is the very substratum. Buddhe param, nirguna sadhruvancha. It's beyond the gunas, sadhruvancha, that which is eternal truth. What is the gunas? Why should one go beyond the gunas? What are the gunas? Why should one go beyond the gunas? Guna, quality. Also guna, rope. When two different unconnected meanings are given to one word, there is some underlying principle. Guna, quality, guna, rope. What is the underlying principle? Both bind. How do they bind? If you like hot coffee, you cannot stand cold coffee. If you like excessively one color, you won't like the other colors. If you like something which has a particular scent, you will not be able to take the other scents. Food, everything is like that. Liking one thing makes you bound to that thing and to resist other things. And in the world, everything is punctuated by its opposite. When you say white, there are no other colors in that. When you say black, there are no other colors in that. Right? So it's limited, it's finite. Guna is finite. Guna is limited. Guna is binding. You take your own body, mind, intellect. Body is tamas, mind is rajas, intellect is sattva. The body cannot move Even if the intellect says, I want to go, it needs the passion of the mind, rajas. Tamas needs rajas. Both need the guidance of the sattva. But body cannot be the mind, mind is cannot be the intellect. There is a slight difference, though they are a raw product or thoughts. They are all each different because each has a definite quality. That quality binds it. Even Sattvic people, Gita says, Sukha Sangena, Jnana Sangena, they are bound by the concept of comfort, Jnana. They don't want many things, Sattvic people, but they want their comfort. They want to all the time get some information or the other. Sukha Sangena, Jnana Sangena, Badnati. Therefore, qualities bind us. So, without qualities, how do you enjoy? Nirguna Sadhruvam Chaya. That is the very substratum of all manifest existing things, itself free from qualities, but it has all qualities in it. Jnana prakashena vishuddha sattvaha. By the light of knowledge, a man of pure mind, yam pashyati swatmani chintyamanam. By the light of knowledge, through a pure intellect, free from ragadveshas, free from impurities, one who sees that Atman, that self, that Brahman in himself, that is Saumyakashisha, that is Tapovan Maharaj. Shri Saumyakashisha Maheshwaraya Tasmai Namaswami Tapo. I think I mixed up. Okay, I will go back. Buddhe param nirguna sadruvancha guhyam. Guhyam is hidden. Guhyam, hidden. Gabhiram. Gabhiram, solemn, majestic. Hidden means what? Gold is hidden in the ornaments. Water is hidden in the waves and bubbles. Means for an unprepared student, it's not visible. Guhyam. Gurudev says beautifully, the darkness in the cave is created by the very cave itself. So, in us, the ignorance of the self is created by our own vasanas. Guhyam, but majestic, Gabiram, Pashyanti, experience. Pashyanti, see means experience. How Nirdhutamala Yatindraha, those who strive, having through their strife thrown out all impurities of raga dveshas. They experience this. That's how Saumyakashishra is Tapovan Maharaj. Please forget all that you learned in hundreds of books. Forget all that you are going to learn. Just if you do not easily get it complete meaning, reflect on what I am going to say. A very simple thing. You are Brahman or you are a miserable one is not in the control of God, is not because of the world, is not because of the prarabdha or destiny. You are Brahman or not. a miserable one is your lacking love for all beings, all experiences, having choices, choose one, reject or resist one. It is your mind that has likes and dislikes, that judges. That is your enemy. So, whenever you are miserable, please try to do something with your mind, not worry about other things. Now, what do you want me to do with my mind? Anything you do with the mind, it becomes stronger. Anything you do with the mind, it becomes stronger. Then what do? Just dismiss. That's the mischief of the mind. I had nothing to do with it. A negative thought comes, a wrong thought comes, a thought of judgment comes. Say, this is the mischief of the mind. I had nothing to do with that. Nirbhutamalayatindra Sri Saumyakashishta Maheshwaraya Tasmai Namaswami Tapovanaya Tejomayam Divyamameya Shaktim Sanatanam Shantamanamayam Advaitam Ascharyam Achintya Rupam Paratparam Nityamanantamadhyam Jnana Prakashena Vishuddha Sattvaha Yam Pashyati Sri Swatmani Chintyamanam Sri Saumyakashisha Maheshwaraya Tasmai Namaswami Tapovan. In this particular sloka, most of them are Swarupa Lakshanas. I have explained to you. One is indicative definition, another is descriptive definition. Indicative definitions are called Tatastha Lakshanas, unknown in terms of the known. Swarupa Lakshana are direct definitions of the Vastu. But little advanced students will know even the Swarupa Lakshana, when you put in words of Bhagavan, it's only relative. That's also Tatastha Lakshana. Anyway, do not confuse yourself with that now. These are all direct descriptions. Tejomayam, brilliant, resplendent, divyam, divine, ameya shaktim. Meya, mana, measurable. Ameya, immeasurable. Shaktim, power. What is the power of God? Just a passing thought is enough. I want the world to end. World will end that second. Passing thought. I want the world to manifest. It will come. Just a thought is enough for him. Right? Therefore, Ameya Shaktim, immeasurable strength, power. How does all these things help us by knowing? Because please take this clue from me. Anything that has no relevance to your life, you don't need it. Vedanta Shani. Any word, any explanation, if it has no direct reference to your life, you don't need it. Why do I need this? Ameya Shakti, what he cannot do. If you need it, he loves all and he can do. Why he won't do? No, he may not know. Tejomayam, he knows all. Tejomayam, Ameya Shakti. And why he won't do something what you need? Because it is not good for you. He knows it. He knows it. You know, mothers these days don't give chocolates till the children are 6 or 7. Why? Those teeth will get affected. Do you think mothers are cruel? So is God. Sanatanam. Sanatanam means beyond time. Very time originates from him. Time originates because, in fact, you will listen this from me in Bhagavatar. Time is his own manifest form. Time and Bhagavan are not two different things. Antah Brahma Rupena, Bahihi Kala Rupena. Same God, when he wants to take forms, he needs space and time. Space and time are not two different things. Point to point, it's called space. Moment to moment, it's called time. Point to point cannot be there without moment to moment. Moment to moment will not be there without having space. Today, this space has become a very common thing used. Every 5 years, 10 years, they bring one particular word and it is mostly accepted. Right? For concepts itself, they call it space. I have space for that. I have no space for that. Concepts, right? So Advaitam, Ascharyam, Achintya Rupam, non-dual, Ascharyam. Gurudev gives a beautiful example. What is wonder? Something that you see, which the intellect cannot explain, is called a wonder. I see a chair. I know it's a chair. It's no wonder. It's no wonder. I see a diamond there, which I never expected, and I don't know also it's a diamond. What is this? So brilliant. That's a wonder. What you experience, but what your intellect cannot explain, is called a wonder. Bhagavan is experienced, but the intellect cannot explain it. Therefore, Ascharyam. Second chapter Gita, Kathopanishad, Ascharyavat Paschati Kaschit Yenam. Ascharyavat Vadati Tatha Evacha Anyaha. Kathopanishad and Gita. Advaitam, Ascharyam, Achintya Rupam. That which cannot be conceptualized by this perverted intellect. Parat Param. Param, supreme. Who is supreme to for you now? Prime Minister, presidents, they're all supreme. The 1 second he decides, the supreme becomes zero. Zero becomes supreme. One meaning. Second meaning, param. For us, supreme is saguna, Brahman. Parat param is beyond the saguna Brahman. Nityam, Anantamadhyam. Nityam, eternal, means beyond time. Anantam, no beginning, no end. That means not subject to time and space, but time and space are his own expressions. He has no beginning, no end. Then how to know him? All the you said are negatives. How do you know him? Jnana prakashena vishuddha sattvaha yam pashyati swatmani chintyamanam. It shines by itself. It doesn't need another light. Tasya bhasa sarvamedam vibhati. There are several things in the room. They are illumined by the light. You remove them. To know the light, you do not need another light. But why don't I know? Because you are now Marina Sattvaha, impure mind intellect. When it becomes pure, free from Raga Dveshas, Vishuddha Sattvena. Through that pure intellect, Vishuddha Sattvaha, Yam Pashyati Swatmani Chin. Chintyamanam. That was Achintyamanam for the Malina Sattva, becomes Chintyamanaha for the Vishuddha Sattvaha. He feels in himself, Shri Saumyaka Shri Maheshwaraya, Tasmai Namaswami Tapovanaya. To that Saumyaka Tapovan Maharaj, is of who is nothing other than Sri Saumyaka Shri. Tasmai Namaswami Tapovanaya. We should all be grateful to Linika who suggested this, and it is God's will without our knowledge. It just coincided with his this week is birth, right? And I tell you this book is enough for anybody to revel. Whenever I take this, I enjoy it, every bit of it. It has the majesty, the style, the beauty of Sri Shankaras, though our author is very recent, relatively, maybe 100 years and, very recent. But this is a lovely book. I thank, as I said, Linika, I thank Iram for suggesting a class on Monday. I thank God for making it happen. I thank Tapovan Maharaj for allowing us to do this. Thank all. God bless you all. Hari Om.